Welcome to In the Spirit with Miriam Hellman. Today we're going to continue to study the realm of faith. Faith is my most exciting subject in the Bible. It is so marvelous that God has invited us into a partnership with Him in which we are able, as He has, to create the answers to our prayers. I want to think this morning about the passage that is found in the Gospel of Mark. Jesus passes a fig tree. He sees it afar off, and he's hungry, and he's hoping that when he gets to the tree, he will find fruit on it. But instead, there's only leaves. So Jesus speaks to the fig tree and says that it will no longer ever produce any fruit for mankind. The very next day, Jesus and his disciples passed this tree, and to their great amazement, the fig tree has withered from its roots. The disciples are amazed. How is it that Jesus speaks these words, and all of a sudden, the fig tree that was cursed by Jesus' words has withered? The Bible says that the people were astonished at his doctrine. Astonished. I want you today to be astonished at the power of the words that can come from your spirit and your soul as you exercise faith. I'm thinking in particular about a time many years ago when one of my children was visiting a dermatologist. She had a wart on her arm, and it seemed to be resistant to all treatments. On several occasions, the dermatologist removed the wart, but it kept returning. And so on her last visit to the dermatologist, he said to her, "Some time back, I had a child that was brought to me by his parents. This child had growths all over his body. He had a condition that medical science did not know how to treat. Everything that was known was performed for this young boy, but yet it was resistant. It was a terrible, terrible curse, a terrible burden for this child to bear. These growths all over his face, all over his head. His parents felt so terrible for him." So the dermatologist said to my daughter, "I sent the child's parents out of my office, and I sat the little boy down opposite me in my desk. And I said to the little boy, 'Tonight, when you go to bed, don't tell anybody, but you just speak to all of these growths on your body, and you tell them to leave and never come back. Forbid them to stay on your body.'" So the little boy and his parents left the doctor's office, and the parents, late one evening, heard talking in the little boy's room, and they wondered, well, isn't he asleep? What is going on? So they went to the door of the child's bedroom, and there, to their amazement, they heard their little boy speaking to these growths on his body, commanding them to leave. They felt so sad. They felt so sorry for the child. They thought, oh, this poor child doesn't know any better, and look what he's doing, but it isn't going to help. But to their great amazement, the next morning, every growth had fallen from the child's body. So the dermatologist told my daughter, my advice to you is to just speak to this wart and tell it never to come back on your body again, and you'll get better results by doing that than coming to me. And do you know? That is what she did. She spoke to it, and it never came back again. Wow, what power faith is inside of us. Now, Jesus goes on to say, after they are astonished about what happened to the fig tree, he says, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever shall speak unto this mountain, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe the things that he says shall come to pass, he shall have what he says. Now, this is the most important lesson in faith, because we, by faith, speak things into existence, and we can speak things out of existence. We can speak healings into our body. We can command sicknesses and diseases to come out of our bodies, and we can change circumstances by the words that we believe. Belief as faith is an action. So it always implies that we must do something. In this case, we had to speak to the situations. Have you spoken to the situations that you are exercising your faith to? Or are you speaking to the Lord and asking Him to do something? It's very important that you understand that God has done all that He is going to do. And now, if something is going to be done, it is going to be done through you with the help of the Lord and your exercise of your faith.